Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Giannouloudis joining us here again from Billy G Life Coaching. A pleasure to see you. It's been a 2-week hiatus and I missed you. I missed work and feeling good today, getting back in the swing of things. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, you took 2 weeks off, but we're about to start off on the right foot. So let's get it going. I'm excited.
Of course you are. I need some updates. New listeners out there today, tell me about your coaching services before we begin.
Yep. What's going on, guys? I'm Billy Giannouloudis from Billy G Life Coaching. I'm a life coach and a motivational speaker. And our goal is to truly help you live life on your own terms and to step into those goals, those dreams, and everything that you're trying to pursue for yourself. And we do that in so many different ways, helping you with the mind, the body, and the soul for whatever works best for you. We meet you where you're at, and it is a blast for myself and every single client. And it's a great job.
We're so excited to have you here. Tell us how we can reach out to you to start.
Yeah, guys, you can find me. Go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You can set up a free call with me if you need it. You can find me on Instagram at Billy Giannouloudis. Find me on Facebook, YouTube, Once a Week with Billy G. And guys, I'm right there for you.
Perfect. And I know we're going to talk today about some of your client experiences. I'm excited to hear about that. Your Sunday podcast, how have they been going? Catch us up. Anything we need to know about those?
Yeah, no, it's been a blast. Sundays, every single week, guys, we come out with a new message for you. And we're probably about 283 straight weeks in, just bringing you something to start your week off. And the past few weeks, we've gone over stress levels and how, truthfully, we dive into it where our society today lives by stress and the go, go, go. That's the norm now. When it used to back in the day, it wasn't really the case, but work has become the number one thing, which causes stress to be such a part of every single person's life. So we help you and teach you in this one little video how to undo that, to bring it back to yourself, to help you move forward where stress is no longer a factor. And then we have a bunch of different episodes since the last time we saw you guys, but each one is bringing people inspiration and something to help them move forward into the week in such a great way.
And coaching intervention. We're going to talk about that today a little bit. Phases of self. Can we start in the past? Tell us about the past self. How does this all work and break it down for us?
Of course. Yeah. This is something we actually did with a client yesterday. And we get to a place with any goal that we're pursuing with whoever we're trying to become. We'll say that as the goal. And that's where coaching comes into play. Where we help you bridge the gap. But in that go, go, go lifestyle where we're trying to pursue these goals, we're trying to pursue these dreams, we're trying to just move forward every single moment. The struggle is that we don't see how far we've come.
Yeah.
And we have this image or we have this fear of who we used to be, which does create a motivator moving forward. But because we stick with that image of ourselves, we kind of lose out on everything that's happened since then, or we get fixated on who we need to become that we don't realize that who we are right now, the current self, is so much better than who we were as we move forward into the next greatest version of who we're becoming, again, the future self. It's deep, but every single client that we come to has this phase. So our client, she's a bit younger. She's about 22 years old, but she came up with the phrase of version 2.0, version 3.0, version 4.0, and that's how she sees her success. So every single time she hits a milestone, she says, oh, I'm the new version of me, I'm the new version. And this entire aspect I crafted where we started laying out, okay, we know who you were. We know who you're trying to become. And so in our session, we listed out everything who she is right now. And it was this realization moment where she's like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I've taken these steps. I didn't realize I've grown in my confidence. I've grown in my strategies because she's trying to become her own coach, become her own speaker and what she's honed in at. And she didn't realize, oh my goodness, I really have come so far. And then who she used to be struggled with depression, struggled with anxiety, struggled with panic attacks and everything. And she couldn't even remember the last time she had a panic attack from pursuing these goals. So her current self is such a higher level. And when we can take a step back in the entire process and realize, oh my goodness, I'm on level 10. I'm not on level 1 anymore. It's incredible, right? And the staircase just keeps going up, which gets better for all of us. But it's just such a joy seeing people in the process. So for people listening right now, take some time and really give yourself credit for where you are, or grab a piece of paper and truly list out, who was I 5 years ago? Heck, who was I a month ago for that matter? Because we never realized how far we come. Write out who that was, write out the next phase of who you are now, and then have some fun with it and see where you're going to be in 5 years from now. And to throw it in there, when I was trained by Tony Robbins, he talked about this facet. He does it in Date with Destiny, Power Within, all these incredible things right now where we are able to accomplish so much more than we think we can. So he has everyone set 10-year goals. And a lot of people can't fathom how much you can accomplish in a 10-year span. So these 10-year goals end up becoming possibly 2-year goals or even less, or maybe 5, whatever it is for the specific aspect. But when we take those goals into our own self-improvement, our personal development, our individual characteristics that we're trying to grow, who knows what can be accomplished just by honing in on it and then stepping forward, just like our client did. So it's an incredible process. But to connect with what you said, Jill, the coaching intervention aspect, this stemmed from, truthfully, a meditation process where I learned it through Mind Valley. I love doing Mind Valley and all their classes and everything like that. But this meditative technique called a mental screen technique, where you see yourself, you're going to a meditation, you see where you are right now. And you had your goal in mind. So that's your future self, the one that accomplished this thing. We know how great that's going to feel. We know everything that we want to accomplish, but you need the spark to get there. And so you see yourself who you are now, and then you move in the meditation, you move yourself a little to the left, and you see who the next phase is. Someone that's put in all these characteristics, someone that's trying to put the work in. And your motivator becomes adding either, truthfully, pain or pleasure to help you motivate yourself, to spark yourself. And then when you have fully wrapped your mind around that, where when you come out of this meditation, you have to take action because of that motivator, you move to the left just one more time, and your future self, you hone in with this person that achieved the goal. So when you come out of that meditation, you now have your past self, your current self, and your future self that has taken these steps. So when you come out, there's a less weight on your shoulders because you're realizing, oh my goodness, I can do this, because your belief grows. And it's incredible. But seeing coaching clients go through it, anyone listening right now, give it a try for yourself. Hey, reach out to me and I'll help you with it. But it's such a weight lifting process that helps you enjoy life again and move forward with momentum again. And that's the best part.
You got me thinking about what was it? I can't think. Is it A Christmas Carol? The past, the Ebenezer, the past, the present, the future. Sorry, I had to bring that up. But yeah, it's true. But there's so many stages you got to always look at. And yeah, if you don't really look at it, you can't think about it. You write it down. You got to look back at it and see you're right where you are. And Billy, where do you see your future self? On the big stage? Come on, you're teaching everyone like Tony Robbins, right?
Well, definitely. I love right now, every time I am on stage, I see myself as that, and it helps me step into it. But it's crazy where I'll tell you a story to kind of answer that question for you. I can remember when I started my coaching career, my coaching business and everything like that, where I was still mentoring people, inner city kids and families in Brockton, Massachusetts. And the owner of the business comes in to this big team meeting we had. And everyone else on my team, I've never met this man. Everyone else on my team is terrified because the owner, we're like, oh my goodness, should we talk what we say? And he asked the question, I just want to get to know everyone. So let's go around the room. Everyone say their names. Give me one of your goals, one of your dreams you want to accomplish. And he's going around to everyone and they're saying things like, well, I would love a vacation. I would love a trip to the Bahamas and stuff like that they want to eventually receive. So there's about 20 people before me. And then he gets to me. And I raise my hand on Billy Giannouloudis. My goal, truthfully, I want to sell out a stadium with helping people. And he just corks his head. He goes, I like that. Where did that spark? And then the entire thing unfolded because I'd just been trained by Tony Robbins after that point. And I explained this to him. And to tell anyone right now, there comes a point where a lot of people hold their goals, their dreams in. But when your passion overcomes that and you speak it out loud, opportunity comes. So I said that I wanted to speak to people, to help people. That's my driving force behind it, to help people improve their lives. The owner of this company calls me into his office the next weekend at a whole different building, whole different spot. And we talk about it for about an hour. And he goes, I want to give you a shot. I want you to speak to your community and everyone that worked there. So he gave me an opportunity to teach all the therapists these different interventions to help people and spark them in a quicker way. And it was one of the first doors opening in the entire business. But to bring it back to your question, Jill, my goal, I see myself doing it every single day on that stage, no matter how big, how grand, how small the stage is, helping every single person speak into their lives and helping them live greater lives. And that's a tall goal, but oh my goodness, I say it with so much passion because it lights me up. I love it so much.
Clearly, I love it too. Thank you so much. And what else do we have in store for today? I just want to remind everyone, Billy G Life Coaching. We're talking to Billy Giannouloudis. For those of you on the podcast, we're also on the Zoom and vice versa. And just remind us of your website one more time.
Yep, BillyGLifeCoaching.com, guys. You can set up a call right with me there. You can see other information. We've even updated the site where you can find our new Mindset Mastery course, which we've thrown out there a couple of times on these podcasts. It's really starting to rev up. So to kind of segue into another topic, that course, I wanted to explain to you guys one thing that you can find in there, the emotional guidance scale, which is how we are able to figure out where we stand on this scale to either move up the scale to experience joy, or even notice if we're moving down the scale into fear, lower levels like depression and everything. But guys, in this course, we go over this area, and on this scale, you get it, it's a PDF, you can find it. The clients that we brought that to, or the course members that are now involved with it, are coming to us and saying that that one piece of information in itself has changed so much for them, because it puts all the emotions onto a table for you, where you're able to see where you stand on a daily basis, where you might be content, which I believe in the process is like number 7 out of the list out of these 22 emotions. And you know, okay, how do I, number 1 is joy, love, appreciation, all these greater facets. And I think every different culture comes with a different factor of what number 1 would be, but love is always top. And, right? Exactly. So people are able to see, okay, if I'm feeling low, if I'm pessimistic right now, how do I move up the ladder? And it puts it in people's hands where they can ask themselves a question, okay, what can I do today to experience joy? And you start to see yourself move up the ladder. And it's never a one stop done. It's a process to start building habits for yourself to live at these higher levels of emotion, to experience positivity, joy, love, everything like that. But just asking the question, this one little scale of knowledge allows people to begin to the life-changing process that is everything we're trying to pursue. And just, I wanted to throw that out there today for people that are listening. When you go to the website, we're updating it so you can access the course right there, and you can log right in and you can start this entire process and help yourself and gain these pieces of knowledge. Yeah, it's been a blast. It's incredible.
Awesome. And can we talk about some of your current client experiences? What's been happening? What's been going on? And yeah, I'm sure you have some great insight. And by the way, if you guys want to give us a call, open the line 631-317-1291. If you have any questions, 631-317-1291. Anything goes. We're talking to Billy G here about life coaching and how we could be of service. So let's talk about some of your recent clients and feedback that you've gotten.
Yeah, of course. So I'll give you an example. This morning, we had a client, she's up in Canada right now, and we were supposed to meet with her, and then something got in the way. So the cancellation happened. However, when you work with me, you get full tech support. I'm there for you, where if you need a cancellation, we work out the rest of the schedule for the week to make it happen. But if it is in that moment where you're struggling, I'm right there in your corner. I'm helping you every single step of the way. So to explain to people, she was going through struggles where that go stressful lifestyle that I mentioned before, that's been hounding her for weeks now. We've been diving into it. We've been working on it to take the edge off, to help her kind of live at that higher level. And it works. And at the start of the week, she was explaining to me how she couldn't wait for our session. She was all smiles. There's so much good happening. She's finally stepping back into that version of herself. And then today hits and she had to cancel. And it's as if everything of the day was just not going to how she planned.
Yeah.
And so we rescheduled for later in the week. We're seeing her Friday and whatnot. However, she couldn't break that pattern today. So in these text messages, or even at the point of a call for that matter, we're sitting there and we're going over, okay, what's going wrong? She says, well, nothing's going my way. I was going to have such a great day. It's just not happening. Never underestimate the power of taking a step back and allowing life to unfold the way it's meant to. Because we all have a plan that we're trying to accomplish. Every single day we have goals, we have missions for that matter that we're trying to step into. However, if we don't allow life to unfold the way it's meant to, we get so much stress put on our shoulders. So in this one little instance, we were able to realign her and help her take a step back to where do her deep breath, do everything you got to do where you can realign yourself. And then she ended up calling us like later this morning. She goes, I have to thank you so much. That one little moment helped me step back and just allow the day to unfold. And it really did get better. But my emphasis to people right now is we have to, as much as we have these goals, we can talk about past self, current self, future self. We have to understand that what you put out there is going to be accomplished. What your goals are is going to be accomplished. That's deeper levels of law of attraction aspects, manifestation, stuff like that. But what you focus on will happen. So you have to trust that. There's a faith that comes with that. At that point, you come back to the present moment and live life moment by moment, knowing life is becoming so much greater. And to help clients really get to the point where they can live in that present moment and just enjoy the moment. It doesn't matter what work throws at you, whether her job this morning was just pounding her with so much stuff. She came out of that's a different state. She came out of that state, right? And she was able to just enjoy where, hey, throw me whatever, because I'm just feeling good right now. That positivity, those moments with clients have been so incredible. But that was one instance this morning. And it's just fun seeing every single client bring something different to the table. But there's always something that we can help you come back to the moment and realize, okay, life is good. This is coming together.
Life is good today. I love saying that's a Zach Brown band song. Sorry, go ahead.
Love it. No, but that's good though. I love that. And then that was one client this morning. We have a lot of clients come to us recently where meditation has become a major focus. And I think it's so cool that clients that come in, they have a goal in store. They have a version of themselves they're trying to accomplish. They have a life that they're trying to create for themselves. And then we help you in the process getting there. But often when we open that door for you and the steps that you take, these other areas of growth, these other doors start popping up. So one client, we actually gave him a shout out a couple weeks ago, Kyle. He's been moving forward with so much momentum. He's been motivated, trying to level up, as he'd say. He came into session last week and he goes, hey, I want to step into this meditation stuff. I feel like that's a missing piece of the puzzle where I have so much anxiety. I know that I'm able to calm down in X, Y, and Z that we've gone over, but I feel like that's a piece I really need to learn. And one, I have to give him so much credit for coming to the table with what he wants to move forward on. Two, a lot of clients are coming to the table where they realize, okay, what is this meditation aspect that helps people live in the moment? And when we live in the moment, kind of like what I said with our previous client, the stress fades away, but the anxiety fades away. And in the world we live in the society we live in today, anxiety, mental health is becoming such a major factor. And I give so much credit for it becoming into the mainstream because every single person is suffering from some aspect of stress that's causing them to live out these different emotions and mental health aspects. But when we meditate, we allow ourselves to grow in its own way. And yes, you can look at it as a emotional growth aspect. You can look at it from a spiritual growth aspect, but never underestimate what coming back to the moment and stepping into those areas can do for every single other area of your life. So with Kyle, again, he's stepping into that. He's got his goals for the next week of what he needs to do. And with trying to figure out the stress of his schedule where you can give yourself 10 minutes to meditate, I feel like that's the struggle where we have this one-track mind of stress level of, okay, the second I get up, I have about 15 minutes and then I have to be out the door. What do I do? So we actually designed with Kyle in a way, eyes open, but a driving meditation where he can actually, as much as he's focused on the road, he's focused on what he needs to do. He knows he needs to drive an hour in the morning.
Stand by. Hello, welcome to the show. You're live on the line with Billy G Life Coaching. Who's this?
Hey, my name is John.
Hey, John. This is Jill. You're live with Billy, and obviously he's talking in regards to his life coaching services. What would you like to ask or talk to him about?
So, I wanted to just ask for his advice. I know how society kind of paints a picture how everyone's supposed to get married and have the house with a white picket fence and have kids, but that's not really for me. I don't really see myself getting married, and I have so much pressure from like my family and my mom to have a family and have kids. She's always asking when she's gonna have grandkids from me, but it's really not for me. So just asking what his advice would be on for how to go about this.
I love it. I love the fact that you can see where you're at. And I love the fact you can say, it's not for me. And that's the beauty of it, where so many people, I think so many different generations, we live by the age old, we got the American dream. You have to have the white picket fence, as you said, you have to have the wife, the kids, you have to have the job, and everything is meant to go according to that plan. However, with where life, society, and everything has gone to, we got to take a step back and realize that our journey might be different than what everyone else's was back in the day. And I think to connect it to myself, I've taken different steps just as much as everyone else did. Going the entrepreneurship route is a different step than what generations before me did. So right now, to connect it to you, where you can say, this isn't for me. If you can truly say that you're content and the only real stress right now is that the way you're living your life isn't, I guess you could say, living up to what your other people's expectations are. As long as your expectations for yourself are hitting home, that's when you can feel good. But bringing that to your mom, explain to her like, hey, I know you had this intention for me. You had this dream for me. You had this goal for me. Who's not to say somewhere down the line that doesn't come together? But right now, you're living out your life exactly how you want to live it. That is what should take the stress off of your shoulders. Because as much as we have our family, we have our friends, we have everyone that we live by, we got to be able to live truthfully by ourselves first. And if you can say that that that's not really for you, trust that, live by that, but make sure you have areas in your life that are showing you that, that love back to yourself just as much. Because I think that's the reason why we step into those areas. But we never know where our journey's leading for that matter. But if you truthfully can contently say, hey, I trust myself, and that's not for me, then you move forward with everything that is for you. And everyone else will realize that when you took that step for yourself, they're going to start to back you because they see how happy you are. And that's the point of the matter. You got to find that joy for yourself. And if you know what that is, that's the next step for you. Does that connect home?
Oh,
Hello?
awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Tell us the website.
We got BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You guys can find it there. You can set up a free call with me, and I'll dive in just as we just did on the call right there. We hop into it. We dive into it where you get a half hour and we move forward. And that's the best part of the entire matter.
Great. Thank you again for the call. Again, 631-317-1291. If you have any questions, 631-317-1291. Billy G here is talking, taking calls. Anything you had in mind, please reach out. And Billy, so we still have just about 5 minutes left in the show. What else do you want to share?
Yeah. We've gone over a couple different clients. We've gone over a couple different areas, but I guess to round it all out for today, guys, never underestimate what giving yourself some time can do. Even in my own life, Jill, I know you always ask me the question of like, are there bad days? Are there days where, you might not have the high level energy? And of course there are, there's definitely are. There's those patterns, there's those cycles for me just as much. But that's my sign. That's my signal where I have to give myself time. I have to get back. And I even this morning, with that cancellation that came through, yes, we were able to help our client in the moment and then move forward scheduling it. But anytime my schedule doesn't go as I planned, where a cancellation comes through or something pops up that rearranges everything, I use those moments to give myself the time. That's my sign that, hey, I wasn't supposed to see this person right now. I have to breathe back into myself, you could say. This morning, when that happened to me, I could have been in a stressful state. I chose to give myself the time, meditate, read, do whatever it is, but never underestimate how powerful it is to give yourself the time, because you're going to receive the guidance, the signal, whatever you want to call it, to the energy for that matter, to move into the next moment much better, much more powerful, much higher level state for yourself. But that's the thing. We got to break away from the go, go, go lifestyle and just take life one great moment after the other. And that's when we see life gets better and better and better every single moment. It's a blessing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. For those out there who would like a consultation, to reach out to you, Billy G Life Coaching. In particular, I just want to ask you about Sunday show. Did we cover any of the topics for this past Sunday show? Is that what,
Right. So we went over stress levels, which was 2 weeks ago. This past Sunday, we actually had, I believe this past Sunday was stress levels, but the past 2 weeks prior to that, we went over this entire concept called surgery status. And I won't dive too deep into it, but guys, that's an intervention I love doing with my clients, where as much as we have these negative thoughts that come in, And the example we use in the video is loneliness, and that hits a lot of people. But you have to see what your negative thought is built off of. And I use the term dissecting the negative thought. That's where surgery status comes from. And when you start to break down these negative thoughts, you start to see that they're actually built on a lot of good things. Because loneliness, as much as we stay honed in on it, can feel really bad, lonely for that matter, negative. You realize that it's actually building you so much self-strength. It's building you to a state to have peace on your own. It's building you a self-love that you might not have ever experienced if you had someone specifically there or surrounding you. So there's a video out there, surgery status, guys. Go take a look at
Status. Okay.
Once a week with Billy G on YouTube, guys. You can see all of our videos there, and subscribe. By all means, subscribe. And you know exactly when we post.
Of course. All right, Billy, and remind us again the website one more time.
Yep, BillyGLifeCoaching.com, guys.
Perfect. And social media, we can find you.
Yep, Instagram at Billy Giannouloudis. Obviously, YouTube, Once a Week with Billy G, and then Facebook. Type me in, guys. You'll find me right there.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.